Punch Professor here at the Jungle Camp Gym. Thank you for joining me for this video lesson. I've studied the art of power punching probably as much as anybody that's walking the face of this earth today. I've had over 50 years in boxing gyms all around the country, mostly here in Florida. It's not only punching that I've studied, but that's the topic of the subject today. There's a cliche in boxing. They say that punches are born and not made. Well, I want to refute that for you. From my own experience, from my own study, I'll explain to you why it's not true, and I'll also try to explain to you why it's assumed to be true. First of all, use a little thinking, a little common sense. Man hits a home run out of the ballpark, baseball. Hits the home run out of the ballpark. Doesn't matter how many steroids he took, how many times he lifted weights. Sure, that'll make him stronger. But if his technique, if his mechanics, if his intentions is not into his mechanics, he will not get that ball out of the infield. He's more than likely going to miss it, especially if they're throwing it at him at 90 miles an hour. Same thing with a golfer. You got my brother. My brother's just a little bigger than me. I'm 150 pounds. He's 160. My brother hits a golf ball just about as far as Tiger Woods. He doesn't do it because he's strong. He is pretty strong. Don't get me wrong there. And there is strength involved. You will have increase in your power through strength. But the giant increase that you're looking for is in your mechanics. And I'm going to tell you why it's so. It's assumed, first of all, that punches are born and not made. Let me tell you, I've studied just about anybody that can throw a punch hard. Every one of the great champions, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Alexis Aguayo, Roberto Duran, and there's a few today that are just hammering people when they hit them, and I've studied them all. And I tell you, there's one thing they all have in common. They all have good body mechanics, whether you assume that they were born with it or they was educated with it. Myself, I've studied to punch hard. I've learned how to punch hard. I truly can punch as hard as any man my size anywhere. Pretty close. I could compare with the guys 150 pounds anywhere. And I'm an old man, somewhat so. What happens is a fella comes into the gym. He maybe never boxed before, and all of a sudden you're noticing that he punches hard. And you assume that he was born with it. No, here's what happened. He stumbled upon the mechanics. He found the mechanics before you had a chance to teach it to him. His mechanics are good, his balance is good, his torque. There's different power punches, by the way. There's the punch that has power because of torque, the turn. There's three turns. There's one in the hand, there's one in the hips, there's one in the feet. And then there's the one that's with thrust, running through a man, running like a fullback on a football team, coming through. There's power. There's another thing. Does a man make a good tackle just because he's strong? No, a good tackle is made with technique. Same thing, you take it for any sport, even bowling. Anybody that throws a powerful bowling ball doesn't do it just because he's got muscles. I don't care how many steroids you got, you ain't knocking down them pins without good form and technique. Here's why they think you can't teach it. Take a fighter like, I hate to mention it because he's such a great fighter otherwise, but he can't punch for nothing. He's retired now. Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie Malignaggi didn't punch hard. He'd box your ears completely in, but he didn't punch hard. And if you was to try to teach Paulie, stand here and let me teach you. There'd come a time, it takes time. It's a lot easier to take a beginner and teach him correctly from the start than it is to take a champion and teach him after years and years of years that he's accustomed to what he's doing and try to convert that. That's almost an impossibility. Not that it can't be done, but it's not been done very often because, and I think I know the reason why, because I've studied it. Here's what happens. I'm the trainer. They give me the assignment to train Paulie Malignaggi to punch harder. In about 3 months later, when I'm assuming it's probably going to take me more than a year, maybe 18 months or 2 years. About 3 months later, they got to fight for him, and they gotta start sparring. And they put him in the ring to spar against my wishes. If I'm going to accomplish what it is they want me to accomplish, teaching this man how to punch, I've got to have time to accomplish it. I've got to have time to overcome his habits of not punching hard. What happens now, the manager comes, the promoter comes, and they push me out of the way and say, look, we got to get him ready, we got to spar him. And I don't want him to be sparring, because under the pressure of sparring, he's going to revert back to Paulie Malignaggi without the punch. Do you understand that you're picking up on any of this? It's just a little common sense. Just a little common sense. Punches are born because they stumble over it. They've come into the gym already having some mechanics. They're not lacking because they've already discovered it. You don't have to teach them. You give me a beginner from the jump street and let me spend time with him. Almost everybody I've dealt with, beginners, have learned to punch hard. People I've worked with and had the patience to put up with me have learned to punch hard. And I'll teach you. I've got lessons for you in the future. I'm going to be doing more of these videos, and I sure like to have your help. YouTube doesn't promote me, and I can understand why. I'm not monetizing. They don't make no money off I don't have no commercials. They ain't doing no commercials. They ain't generating any dollars from my videos. But I like to be seen. You know, this is a lot of effort that I'm doing here. And I got a lot more lessons that I've been holding back on. Anyhow, God bless you. These times are so rough. I can imagine right now the people that are sick. I can imagine right now the people that can't pay their car payments, can't put cereal in front of their children. Anyhow, I'm praying for everybody that comes into this video, and I'm asking you to please pray for me if that's what you do. Jesus Christ is my Lord. Pray to him if you would, please, for me, and I'll do the same for all of you. God bless you, and thank you very much.